to happen when we build massive rapport in order for us to be credible in our industry? There were the big three, we called them. What were they? Come on. What had to happen very early in the transaction, whether it's on the telephone, John, it's Todd Lalonde calling from Legue in Chatham, or it's welcome to Legue, my name's Todd and you are. My job is to get you all the information you need, Joe. Make sure you're on the right car. Ultimately, you're going to be the guy that makes the decision. I promise you, Joe, we're going to do this in 30 minutes or less. Is fair enough? What do I have to come across as three things before anything else can transpire? One,
sharp as a tack.
Sharp as a tack.
Enthusiastic.
Two, enthusiastic. And three, an expert or an authority figure. Now, again, we also recognize that we have about 4 seconds to do that. We make a lot of outbound phone calls a day, don't we? We do a lot of dialing on a daily basis. And whether we're dialing on the phone, can somebody see us when we're dialing on the phone? We talked about this last time.
Absolutely.
How do they see us? On their mind, based on our
enthusiasm.
Tone, right? Which again is directly related to our enthusiasm. So if I say, hello, is Joe there? Joe, this is Todd Lalonde from Legue calling. What is he thinking in the back of his mind?
You gotta get off this phone.
I gotta get off this phone. This guy is not an expert, he's not enthusiastic, and he's gonna do nothing to help me out in any situation. Right? So we've gotta be, whether they're in front of us or we're on the phone, we've gotta know that we've got a very small window in order to come across as an expert, sharp as a tack, and enthusiastic. And this will be our foundation as we move down the straight line theory of selling, from the very initial stages of building rapport and gathering intelligence to when we start talking about looping back and breaking down the customer's internal buying beliefs by asking questions, so that when we get to the end of the sale, when we get to the end of the line and we ask the following question, would you like the car registered in your name, your husband's name, or both? When we ask the question, how soon can I take delivery of that 2008 Pontiac G6? When we ask that question or make that comment, by doing it today, sir, the only thing you're going to be disappointed is that you didn't do it 6 months ago. It's all going to be because we managed the sale using a goal-oriented system and we broke down their internal buying beliefs. All right? Now, there were three tenets. We'll just recoup this really quickly. There were three things we had to do in order to be effective. What was number one? Does anybody remember?
Identify their internal buying beliefs.
No, before that, we needed to build what?
Massive rapport.
Massive rapport. So what does massive rapport mean? Does massive rapport mean, this is so important, guys, and we'll learn, today we're going to learn how to build massive rapport. So we're in the pragmatic section now. So massive rapport used to be walking in, seeing something in somebody's office, and then talking about it for 30 minutes, right? Building rapport. Is that building rapport?
No.
No. What's building rapport today? We learned this. How do we build rapport now? By?
Offering information.
And by coming across?
Sharp as a tack, enthusiastic, and an expert.
That's the way we build rapport today, right? We build rapport today by allowing that customer to believe that the time they're spending with us is going to add some sense of control or problem solve for them. And isn't that what we do here? We said we just solve problems? Whether it's Lori Wilson managing the service drive, whether it's Louis taking a customer that he's got from a referral, isn't the ultimate goal, whether it's Sammy knocking on a business owner's door who owns a jewelry store and saying, we want you to be part of our concierge program? Aren't we, in a very short period of time, by building massive rapport, ensuring these things happen? So one, we have to build massive rapport. Two, what's the next thing? The three tenets that have to happen. One was massive rapport. Three was what? Or two was what? Gather intelligence. We need to gather intelligence. What does that mean in layman's terms? Sorry for the penmanship. What does gather massive intelligence mean?
That's a lot of questions.
Ask a lot of questions, right? We're going to learn that too. We're going to start broad. We've got that sheet of paper. What are you driving now? What brought you by the store? What do you like most about your 2010 Dodge Grand Caravan with 263,000 K? Right? What do you have to have in your new 2015 Sedona that you didn't have in your 2010 Dodge Grand Caravan? Now, can I just say it like, well, what do you want new in your 2010 Caravan that you didn't have in your 2015? Is there a difference in tonality and body language? Does tonality and body language build massive rapport or help build massive rapport?
Yes.
More than talking about a fishing trip in Toronto or Lake Nipissing? Of course it does, right? So we need to gather massive intelligence and learn how to do that. And 3, does anybody know the third one? I'll be impressed.
Obsession with the line.
Pardon me?
Obsession with the line.
It's an obsession with the line. An absolute obsession with this straight line. Anytime a customer goes off the line, we know we've got to get them back on the line. Randy came to me the other day about a car deal. The lady said, I'd love to buy a car, but I owe $1,300 on my Visa. Is she on the line or off the line at that point?
Off the line.
She's off the line. She's talking about money she owes on her Visa. Incidentally enough, building massive amounts of intelligence, Randy found out that that $1,300 Visa, or payment on her Visa, was a service bill she was getting prepared to pay. So the question became this: Mrs. Customer, is this one of these visas that you actually have to pay back with interest? And she said, yes, of course it is. I don't know any other kind. So let me ask you another question, Mr. Customer. If I can make this $1,300 service bill make sense to you by way of a monthly payment that you say you cannot afford today, is it something that I can show you? Do you understand the concept? And at that point she said no, so Randy explained to her that this $1,300 payment was going to equal, or this $1,300 bill was going to equal a payment over the next X amount of months. Combined with her current car payment meant that her car payment was bigger than she thought. When he showed her the size of her new car payment, including the service bill, her expectations now became much different. Now the new payment made perfect sense. That's asking questions to get back on the line and building a rock solid case for us to do business together. That's what happens when you gain massive intelligence and listen. Because in order to build rapport, we need to listen. In order to gather intel, we need to listen. In order to stay on the line and have an obsession with the line, we need to listen. The problem in sales is we love to speak. We don't necessarily like to listen because we're trained to answer. So what I want us all to start to do is listen to what the customer says. You'd be surprised at how easy it is to make an airtight, logical case for that customer to do business with us. Does anybody have any questions on that, or does that not make sense to anybody? Everything makes sense? Pretty simple stuff? All reviewable stuff, right? But it all comes back, guys, I can't stress enough, the top 3 items on that list, which is sharp as a tack, build massive rapport, and come across as an expert or an authority figure. All right? That stuff is vital when it comes to being successful in any sales industry.